What's up, everybody? GeauxBurns welcoming you to Q&A 18.0, a monthly series I try to do, giving you the opportunity to submit questions revolved around almost anything. Games that I play or have played or will play, like Grand Theft Auto Online, Mafia III, etc. Gaming in general, personal questions, advice, etc. If you submitted a question during the time allotted a few days ago for Q&A 18.0, I will include it in this video. And I am really impressed by the feedback I got from you guys. 13 questions. Well, 13 and change, because some of you asked more than one question. And for some of those, I will let it slide. Others, I answered privately via Facebook message and email. But for now on, just want to let you guys know that, whenever we do a future Q&A video, if you can try and limit it to one question per person, that would be great. Because of how much response we're getting, I want to try and get as many of you in to future Q&A installments as possible. So if you could do me a solid and limit your question to one per episode, that would be awesome. All right, so anyways, let's get into this, shall we? Q&A 18.0. We're going to go alphabetically. First off of YouTube with Aziz. He asked two questions, which we just mentioned. All right, I'm going to answer one of your questions because somebody else also asked how old I was. We'll address that in a little bit, Aziz. What is my PlayStation name? Okay, so a while back, I used to actually include my PlayStation account and my Xbox Live account in the description section. I stopped doing that. However, if you wish to add me via PlayStation or Xbox, you still can if you want. It's pretty easy. GeauxBurns on both. All lowercase. Hope that answers your question. GeauxBurns, all lowercase, Xbox Live or PlayStation. That's my name. All right, next question comes from CJ Ware, and he asked this question back, well, it was late for Q&A 17.0. He just missed the deadline, and I told him I would include it in Q&A 18.0, even though I almost forgot, admittedly, until CJ reminded me. And he has several questions, which I will let slide this time. But in the future, guys, like I said, please limit it to one question per person. And it's all about Lincoln Clay. Okay, so he asked about how him being shot in the head will affect him. Like, many people think that he might be partially crazy from being shot in the head. And of course, remarking on his scars, on how extreme he is, on how going to war against Marcano's mob. And of course, how diverse do I think the arsenal will be? And do I see Lincoln Clay staying in New Bordeaux after the events of the game to help control, run, and manage his newly formed organization? Thanks for the question, CJ. All right, first off, regarding the mental state of Lincoln Clay, I think that he's going to be a little crazy because, for one thing, he was obviously shot in the head, left for dead, probably was in a coma, and of course, he witnessed most of his family massacred, i.e. Sammy Robinson, Ellis, and the rest of the black mob. But another example of him probably having issues is his time in the Vietnam War. And as a lot of people know, most of the Vietnam War vets suffered from PTSD. And the truth is that's nothing new when it comes to war. It's just a more recent discovery. And it used to be called battle fatigue or cowardice. And unfortunately, a lot of soldiers were shot because of their mental issues. They had really no sympathy for soldiers in the battlefields of, say, World War I, for example. A little bit more in World War II, but yeah, they didn't really quite understand why soldiers were suffering from battle fatigue or being shell-shocked or, quote-unquote cowardice, and now it's an actual mental issue called PTSD. So it wouldn't surprise me if Lincoln Clay does have issues. And another example I'm going to cite, and it's just a theory of mine from watching the E3 trailer, is that he sees Sammy Robinson in several images. One time when he's looking up in the flames, he sees a face of Sammy Robinson, even though Sammy had just been killed moments earlier by Sal Marcano at Sammy's bar. And there was another quick scene of him sitting across the table from Sammy having a discussion. And my theory is that Lincoln Clay is actually seeing Sammy Robinson. So another example of the mental state of Lincoln Clay. Regarding the arsenal, all right, so 2K Central, another YouTube channel that does Mafia 3 videos, they did a really good weapons video Sunday, I believe, regarding the weapons we know about so far coming with Mafia 3. And I will leave that linked below in the description section. And if I remember, I'll post it up in the right-hand corner in the card section. If I don't remember, at the very least, CJ, it is down in the description section. So if you're interested, feel free and check out that video by 2K Central. And 2K Central, you're welcome. All right, and the final one. Do I see Lincoln Clay staying in New Bordeaux? Honestly, I really don't know how the game is going to turn out. or how everything's going to play out, but we will find out in October when Mafia 3 arrives on Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC. Thanks for the questions, CJ. Moving on to our next question from CP Vlogs. By any chance, will you be playing the upcoming Friday the 13th game? All right, so I nearly fumbled that one. All right, CP, thank you for the question. I am a horror fan, actually. I love the old horror films like Friday the 13th, Halloween. My favorite, of course, is Freddy Krueger, i.e. Nightmare on Elm Street. And Friday the 13th game looks very, very interesting. They seem to be very faithful to the material. I will most likely watch others Let's Play Friday the 13th. So, I mean, it's possible I may. But my favorite horror character between the ones I mentioned has always been and always will be Freddy Krueger. So I'd rather play a Freddy Krueger game than a Jason game. But that's just my personal opinion. And speaking of horror games, have you guys checked out the Dead by Daylight game? That thing looks like a lot of fun. I really wish I would have gotten into that when it first came out. And I've been watching a lot of Let's Play on that. It's awesome. All right, so hopefully that answered your question, CP Vlogs. Moving on to our next question from Daniel West off of Gmail, GeauxBurns@gmail.com. First off, want to say, awesome YouTube channel. Question about Mafia 3. Do I think that we'll be able to buy or acquire mansions or properties? And do I also think that we'll be able to have free roam after we beat the game? All right, Daniel. So regarding the free roam, I seriously hope we have the ability to free roam in between missions and after the game in Mafia 3, because that was something we really didn't have in Mafia 2. You just had to play the stories, and when you were done, you could go back and replay the stories or the chapters. You couldn't exactly free roam unless you said, screw the mission, I'm just going to drive around and goof off. But, you know, I hope that we're able to free roam during, in between, and after the main story is over, especially if there's some side quest content. Now, regarding the ability to buy or acquire mansions or properties, we weren't able to in Mafia 2. It doesn't necessarily mean we won't be able to in Mafia 3, because there is going to be money that Lincoln Clay will be able to make in the missions. And it looks like a lot of money, too, unlike Vito in Mafia 2. In Mafia 3, it looks like you can make way more money. So there's a possibility that we'll be able to spend that money on more than just weapons and ammo and grenades and upgrading our vehicles. Maybe we'll be able to buy safe houses as well. At least personally, I'd like to have the ability to purchase property in Mafia 3. Thanks for the questions, Daniel. Moving on to Dylan. Oh, Dylan, why, Dog Chase? Why did you have to ask this? Damn it. Well, you know what? That's the rules of Q&A, right? I say anything, gaming, personal advice, etc. So I've stepped right into this one. All right, so Dog Chase wants to know, Trump or Hillary? I hate you, Dog Chase. He's one of my older subscribers, so it's all love. All right, so Dog Chase and I used to talk a lot on Xbox when we used to game together, along with Finny Boy and his brother and some others. And one of the things that we used to talk about was Trump, because he doesn't like Trump. And at the time when Trump started his campaign back in 2015, I thought it was a joke. Unfortunately, neither Trump or Hillary are a joke. Well, they are kind of a joke, in my opinion. But to put on my political hat for just a quick second, because as some of you know, I also have a political channel somewhere out there. But no, I do not pick Trump or Hillary. I do not like either of them. They both suck. If you're a fan of the original GeauxBusters movie, I compare them to Zool and Vince Clortho, both minions of Gozer. Both going to bring about the Destructor, in other words. So no to Trump, no to Hillary. I'm going to probably either vote for Gary Johnson because I'm a libertarian, or I'm just going to stay the hell home. Thanks for the question, Dylan. Yeah, thanks. Moving on to our next question, we go to Giovanni. Are you going to live stream Mafia 3 when it comes out? That is a very good question, Giovanni. Now, one or two things going to happen, because I don't live stream as much as I should. I have done it a few times, but I've had some issues when I've live streamed. And so I'm kind of, I don't know. I want to really get into live streaming eventually, but I guess I'm just, I don't know what the deal is there. But anyways, even if I don't live stream Mafia 3, what you can count on from me, as long as I'm still here in October when Mafia 3 comes out, as long as something hasn't happened to me, you know, maybe Trump or Hillary's going to come get me for what I just said, because I didn't go along with everybody else and pick a side, right? But that might happen. I might get abducted by aliens, who knows? But if I'm still here, I am going to definitely Let's Play Mafia 3. So there's definitely going to be episodes of me Let's Play Mafia 3, most likely from beginning to end. And anytime any more information comes out about Mafia 3 between now and then, or DLCs after it comes out in October, I will definitely cover it on my channel. So thanks for the question, Giovanni. Moving on next to GTA Online News via Twitter at GeauxBurns. Hashtag Q&A 18.0. Close on the hashtag. Very close. You almost got it there, GTA Online News. All right, so why is Rockstar not opening the casino? It's been 3 years. Okay, so I have another casino question coming up as well from Music Man off of Facebook. We'll get to that one in a moment, but that's about Mafia 3. So this casino question is revolved around Grand Theft Auto Online, obviously. And they've kind of teased it for a while, haven't they? The whole opening soon, and there was some code found regarding the casino. Now, I think the reason why Rockstar decided to put the kibosh on the casino, and I could be completely wrong about this, maybe eventually they will do a casino update, but because of the fact that there's actually money involved in the casino, in Grand Theft Auto Online via the shark cards, real money translating into Grand Theft Auto money, I think that runs into gambling issues, and last time I checked, in a lot of countries, gambling online was illegal. So that might be the reason why Rockstar has decided not to do a casino update for Grand Theft Auto Online, because chances are it would involve the use of real money. Not, directly, but say you go in and you start gambling and you spend all your money in your Maze bank account gambling at the casino, playing blackjack or poker or roulette, slots, whatever, and then you go get a shark card, say a $25 shark card, and then you blow that money, then theoretically you're giving $25 in gambling to Grand Theft Auto Online. So yeah, gambling in a lot of countries online is illegal, and that is my theory as to why we don't have a casino in Grand Theft Auto Online. Even though that may not be the case eventually, they may bring the casino somewhere down the road. It's all, I guess, a bit technical and a bit legal, but hopefully that answered your question, GTA Online News. Moving on to our next question in Q&A 18.0. We go to Lou off of my Gmail, GeauxBurns@gmail.com. And this was another older email that I got last month that I made sure that I would include in Q&A 18.0. Mafia 3 related, any information on the possibility of playing as Lincoln Clay during the Vietnam in the prologue, like we did with Vito at the beginning in Mafia 2 during World War II. Okay, thanks for the question, Lou, even though it's a month later. And I did answer you privately, just in case you didn't get a chance to check out Q&A 18.0, but I always intended on including your question, because this is something a lot of people have been asking in various videos. None of the videos I asked, for Q&A 18.0, obviously, but they've been asked in the past few days in other Mafia videos that are out there on the YouTube channel, networking, flying around the place, gathering bazillions of views as I build up the GeauxBurns Nation. They want to know, is Lincoln Clay going to have a Vietnam mission? And while I don't know anything from Mafia regarding the issue, even though we're friends now, they're following me, we chat, private conversations back and forth. I'm happy to have that relationship, by the way. And I'm going to try and do everything to keep them happy, so I don't end up either unfollowed or sleeping with the fishes. But I have not been told anything regarding a Vietnam mission. And my theory is, I believe there's going to be either similar to Mafia 2 as kind of like a tutorial mission, or I have another theory about that, because I think it was also in the E3 trailer. There's a scene where Lincoln's laying in bed, still recovering, and the Vietnam War is raging on TV. So I think while he's in a coma, we may see a flashback mission of him fighting in the jungles of Vietnam, which would be a really cool mission to have in Mafia 3. So hopefully we will have a Vietnam mission when Mafia 3 comes out in October. Thanks for the question, Lou. Moving on to Music Man, a.k.a. Kevin, off of Facebook. And he has several questions, which I answered already. And the question he wanted me to submit, the question he wanted me to include in Q&A 18.0 is this: will I be able to gamble in the casinos in Mafia 3? He already knows about the fact that there is a casino that exists, and I've mentioned it a few times via, I believe, the New Bordeaux Tribune videos, and there's obviously also a riverboat in some of the videos from E3 that Lincoln boards in order to go after Lou Marcano, and there's obviously slot machines and a lot of other gambling stuff on the boat. So while there obviously is going to be casinos per se in Mafia 3, either on the riverboat or also at a casino. Both, most likely. I don't know if we're going to have the option to gamble. Now, it goes back to the whole legal issue. As long as there's no real money involved in the interaction when it comes to Mafia 3, like if there's no Mafia cards we have to buy, then it's very possible we may have the ability to go into casinos, play cards, poker, slots, etc. in Mafia 3. As long as Hangar 13, doesn't set it to where we actually have to buy, like a Mafia pack or something. So, I mean, it's possible, but then again, I don't know. Hopefully that will be the case, because I know a lot of people want to be able to do something like that to add added value to Mafia 3. They want to be able to do a lot of things. Play at the boat, play at the casino, go listen to live jazz down the French Ward, go to a brothel. Anyways, thanks for the question, Music Man. Moving on to, let's see, Sedan 57 Chevy. Now, this is a long question, but the short of it is, do I think that Grand Theft Auto Online will ever go back in the past when it comes to the timeline? For example, Vice City. Now, there's two different ways to look at the Grand Theft Auto universe. Okay, you go by the Roman numeral Grand Theft Autos, like Grand Theft Auto 3, you go Grand Theft Auto 4, Grand Theft Auto 5. They're in the same timeline, going from like, let's see, early 2000s to the mid 2000s to 2013. But then you have kind of the prequels to Grand Theft Auto 3, which was Vice City and San Andreas. And of course, Vice City Stories and Liberty City Stories. So I think that Rockstar has already set the precedent to do a prequel Grand Theft Auto game. I don't think it would be called Grand Theft Auto 6, but they could theoretically go back to the 80s if they wanted to, or the 90s, or perhaps even the 70s. I don't think Grand Theft Auto is going to go too far back in the timeline, because, I mean, eventually you start wondering, well, if Grand Theft Auto goes back to, say, the 30s, then isn't that like kind of budging into Mafia territory? Because, they both are owned by Take-Two Interactive, the Mafia franchise and the Grand Theft Auto franchise. So I think the furthest back they might go with Grand Theft Auto is maybe the 70s, if they were to ever do a prequel. But yes, Sedan 57 Chevy, I definitely think that sooner or later we will see another prequel Grand Theft Auto game. And it could happen between Grand Theft Auto 5 and Grand Theft Auto 6. It could happen after they put out Grand Theft Auto 6. It just depends on what ends up transpiring. And our next question comes from Sir GTA. And he's asking the same question that Aziz asked at the beginning of the video. How old am I? Now, I have mentioned this a few times in previous Q&As. So, I'm going to just make up an age. And that's going to be my age from now on. I am 906 years old. Just like David Tennant's 10th Doctor in Doctor Who. That's my new age, because I have a friend of mine who's like a brother to me, and the first time I met him, one of the things he would always mention when someone asked him how old he was, he would say 57. And it didn't matter, the years that followed, or a decade later, or even his birthday the other day, when people would ask, he would say 57. He's obviously not 57, not yet anyways. But I just thought that was funny. So just to have fun, we're just going to say 906. And if you want to go do some research, if you want to go back and find a previous Q&A video where I answer it correctly, feel free and do so. You can go on that little scavenger hunt if you wish, Sir GTA and Aziz. But just for shits and grins, I am 906 years old. All right, so the next question comes from Skinballs, an interesting name. Q&A, would you consider building a gaming PC? Okay, so gaming PCs. I used to be really into gaming on the PC back in the 90s with all the LucasArts games like Dark Forces, TIE Fighter, let's see, even the Diablo series, Diablo 1, 2, and eventually Diablo 3 sometime later, the SimCities, Civilizations, Rome Total War, a few other PC games as well. But for a while now, I've kind of got out of PC gaming. Until recently, I've done a little bit of Ark on the side, but I just didn't really get as into it as I wanted to because I couldn't find anyone else to play Ark with. But maybe one day, if I ever come across a PC game that I just am so hard on to play, I'll maybe eventually build a gaming PC. Because my current PC isn't exactly built for hardcore gaming. It's made primarily for, basic internets and watching videos and, editing and making video content for my channel. So that's pretty much what my current PC does well. Eventually, maybe I will build a gaming PC, but not anytime soon because it can be kind of expensive. Thanks for the question, Skimballs. And our final question comes from Adam, aka The Games Guy, one of my oldest subscribers. His question is, are you doing much this summer? I am trying to stay cool, even though I'm having AC issues. I got window units blowing right now in the house, but not in my office where I got my fan, like my ceiling fan, running really slow so it doesn't affect the audio quality. So it's kind of a sweatbox in my office right now. I've gone on for like 20 minutes. It's hot. I'm not a fan of the summer. I am definitely a fall person. In fact, I did ask that question on Twitter a few days ago, like, what season do you like? And it was like a tie between summer and fall, I believe. So anytime you guys want anything extra from me, like tweets or pics or like poll questions, which I submit on a regular basis on Twitter, feel free and follow me on Facebook and like me on, follow me on Twitter and like me on Facebook. Okay, it's so hot in here. I'm sweating. And yeah, it's gross. All right, so thanks for the question, Games Guy, and everybody that submitted a question for Q&A 18.0. Hopefully I answered all your questions. Hopefully I didn't forget somebody. I looked over those videos and double-checked my Gmail and my Facebook just to make sure I didn't miss anybody. And if I did, I apologize. And if you didn't have an opportunity to submit a question for Q&A 18.0, stay tuned because eventually there will be a Q&A 19.0 sometime in August or September, or whenever I get around to it.